And those of us that do know, that we would see more of that extraordinary love that He has for us. And that it would be a catalyst. I mean, He's given us His life. That we would consistently express that divine love, that self-sacrificial love towards one another. I do want to bring attention to the tech team. I just really believe that they need to be acknowledged. I did it this morning. They've got a lot of new stuff, and they're working out the bugs. They helped me tremendously this week. I've got some pictures, I got some clips to show. They worked. They just don't come in here 5 minutes before and flip on some switches. They're here during the week. Eric Spivey was doing things for me at his work and his home and stuff for me. And so I just want to acknowledge the tech team. Thank God. As I said, this is about, we're going to talk about, it's not really on love and Christ's love and His love in us being lived out. I want to pray for the message before I do that. And actually, I had someone this morning, some people on, I want to call Vanessa up here, people who are just committed prayer warriors. They are out constantly out in the community and praying, and they're my beloved sisters in Christ. Vanessa has said she's an inspiration to me. Just her commitment to the Lord and her commitment to prayer. If she misses, it's rare. So, but I asked her if she would pray for this message and for you, for us today. So.
I pray that every ear will hear and every word will fall pressure upon them again, Lord. Let us be all enthusiastic and follow Christ and be with energy in our prayer life and worship in Jesus' great name.
Amen. Amen. Thank you so much. Let's turn to John, the Gospel of John. Chapter 19. Gospel of John, chapter 19, starting in verse 26 and the first part of verse 27. You stand as we read the Word of God. It says, when Jesus saw His mother there, and the disciple whom He loved standing nearby, He said to His mother, "Dear woman, here is your son." And to the disciple, "Here is your mother." You may be seated. Now, we've been going through a sermon series called Cries from the Cross. The 7 statements that Jesus made while He was hanging on the cross, being crucified on the cross. This is one of them. And this, when I've read it, a lot of times I've read it, just going through it, but just studying it and just meditating on it, I just thought, this is one of the greatest, all-time greatest examples of self-sacrificial love ever witnessed by mankind. This, dear woman, is your son. And to the disciple, is your mother. Those words you say, well, okay, that's really good. That's nice. And he's got his mother there to make sure she didn't take care of it. But, like I said, I see it as one of the all-time greatest examples of self-sacrificial love. You might say, well, why? Like I said, it's a very, very nice thing to do. Well, to tell you why, Let's look at the context of what this was said. Just a few hours earlier, of him saying these words, Jesus was in the Garden of Gethsemane, and he was in agony. He was in spiritual agony. He was in mental agony, emotional agony. So much so, that he almost died in the garden. Just because of this agony he was in, spiritual, emotional agony. Now, the Garden of Gethsemane is where he was at. The word Gethsemane literally means oil press. Gethsemane means oil press. And back in the time of Christ, when Jesus was there, they would get olives off the olive trees, and then they would put them in this round trough. There's a picture right there. They put in this round trough, and throw these olives in there, and then that donkey would go around with that millstone, that huge millstone. And then as he would go around, that millstone would crack open those olives. Now, as I said in the earlier service, just a side note, do you remember the teaching in the Gospels when Jesus said, if anyone would do anything to cause one of these little ones to stumble? Well, those little ones he's referring to are people who believed in him. And so now that you and I believe in Christ, we are those little ones. Amen. Well, Jesus said in his word, he said, if anyone would cause one of my little ones who believe in me to stumble, it would be better for that man to have a millstone hung around his neck and be cast into the sea. That's it. Look at that millstone. Jesus, and I believe 100% without any doubt, that when Jesus said that, was teaching that to the people, there was a millstone right there. So those people, when he was saying, anyone messes with one of my little ones, it's going to be better for you to have one of these around your neck and be cast into that sea. And the Sea of Galilee was right there too. So we're getting to see, the love that Jesus Christ has for his people and stuff. But then, after getting back, after those olives were cracked, they would then take it out of that, and they'd put these olives into a leather bag, a leather pouch with holes in it. And what they would do is they would put it under a Gethsemane. That stone is a Gethsemane. That stone, that's what it's called, Gethsemane. It's an oil press. And so they would put those olives underneath that stone, which is about a ton, 2,000 pounds or so. And the weight of the Gethsemane, that stone on those olives, would just crush those olives. Just the immense pressure, if you imagine, the immense pressure of the Gethsemane stone, the olive press on those olives would just crush them, and this precious oil would flow. Jesus was in the Garden of Gethsemane praying under so much weight. Now, the Bible doesn't do anything haphazardly. It's got meaning and everything. There's a reason why it says Jesus was in the Garden of Gethsemane. Because he was under such excruciating, enormous pressure and weight. Spiritual pressure, spiritual weight, emotional pressure. Because he, the Holy Son of God, who knew no sin, never had any sin, who had forever this holy, righteous fellowship with the Father. He was about, in a matter of a few hours, he was about to be, not only take the sins of the world upon him, but he was about to become sin. And when that happened, then he knew that he was going to take all the wrath of the Father. All the wrath that this world and we and you and I deserve, which is called hell. He knew that when that time happened, he was going to take it all. And it was this. And he knew at that moment he was going to be separated from this relationship with the Father. And it was such great, excruciating agony that it nearly crushed, it nearly killed him right there and then in the garden. I have a clip I want to show regarding it.
Sinä otia pui. Kuma. Piezrati. Shapreni mereshetashe. Tomanu elai.
Koshtia min ant, dia nashchat, kahil mahir mo ba, ligul hatta.
Prakasaya nafshi Adonai. Prakasiti. Ptakti.
Laithai. Anashtika Lakaima Yakir Sagi Yaka Pidion Nasha Laithai Anashke La Laithai
Abba. Kulet kehu. Hengehel. Kostige demini. Aken lakisfar. Lehuwe di lakisfar.
Money back.
She wet.
Man out.
Nei, Elohim. It's him. Sveini Adonai. Elohim, Atirchak, and Mini. Schlagorka, Wamitika. Himma, Yamho, Chomni. Elohim, Atirchak, min Meni.
Your destiny, your eternal destiny, and mine was decided 2,000 years ago in that garden of Gethsemane, that great weight, that great pressure that nearly crushed him. But not my will be done, but yours be done. Can we put the lights back on for a moment? Right after that, now again, this is just hours before what he said on that cross. Now right after that happened, one of his closest companions, who was with him for 3 years, traveled with him, ate with him, slept with him together and stuff. For 3 years, one of his closest companions comes up and betrays him with a kiss. And what did he betray him to? He betrayed him into the hands of the authorities. It was a wrong arrest. He was wrongly arrested. He was falsely accused. And he was unjustly condemned. So it was an illegal trial. It was illegal. This is what he wanted. And then, because when he was going through this trial and was condemned, they beat him with their fists. They mocked him. They pulled out his beard. They punched him. They humiliated him. They flogged him. They whipped him. They crucified him. You know, and I said earlier too, they spit on him. And just what great humility that is, to take that. Because I don't know, like any guys in here, someone's ever, I don't know, guy spit at you or something, your temper immediately goes to 120. That happened to me when I was in my 20s. I was going down Civic Boulevard and I was driving and a guy spit on my car. I lost it. I pulled over and I blocked traffic for a month. Because I was going to, the guy, he just didn't get out of his car. It was nuts. He didn't spit out. But my point being, this is what Jesus took. And I got a couple clips to show for that too. Now, hold on a second. This is from the movie. If you've seen this movie, it's brutal. So, any kids or something, maybe moms ought to cover their eyes or something.
Non fortius!
Aspicite caniculi, evertite tignum stulti, super facem sua.
Erigite crucem! Lucite! Lucite!
just a glimpse of the self-sacrificial love that our Lord expressed to us. You know, death by crucifixion was suffocation. You couldn't breathe. And every time you had to take a breath, every time, if you wouldn't just say something, what you had to do on that cross is you had to push up on that spike that was nailed through your feet. And as you're pushing up on that spike that was nailed through your feet, you had to pull on the spikes that were nailed through your hands or your wrists, whatever it was. Every breath, you had excruciating pain. Along with Jesus, along with the terrible beating that he took before you. And it's in this context, with this beating, the humiliation, the flogging, the crucifixion, when he pushed up in agony on that spike and pulled up in excruciating pain and agony with those spikes through his wrist, when he said, "Dear woman, this is your son." To the disciple, this is your mother. That's why I believe it's one of the greatest examples of self-sacrificial love ever witnessed by mankind. Because could you see, I don't think I'd be interested in anything or anyone if all this stuff was happening to me. But the fact is, not only was he concerned for the welfare of his mother with all this, he was also going through all of that for the welfare of you and me. Everyone sitting here, everyone who's ever lived in this world, everyone who is alive right now today in these communities, our families and stuff. He did that for us. When he was pushing up, it wasn't only just dear woman. In his heart, in his mind, it was dear Ramona, dear Lorinda, dear Naja. This is what he did. He did this for you and me. What self-sacrificial love. Now, because of it, we get to, when we receive that, we share his life with us. And because we share his life, again, our salvation is much more than an intellectual decision. What truly happens is he comes in. And it's like, I'm supposed to live like that. Self-sacrificial love.
Yeah.
Now, let's get to reality. When I experience stress, when I'm getting in a stressful situation in my life, often in my life, I've become harsh. And I most certainly become self-centered.
Yeah.
I focus on myself. How do I help myself in this situation? How do I get things better for myself in this situation?
Yeah.
He says the purpose for us with him is to express consistently self-sacrificial love. How do we do that? How can I do that? How do we do that? We're supposed to do that. Like I said, when we really receive him, he gives us his Spirit. The Holy Spirit comes and dwells within us, the Spirit of Christ. And what is that Spirit called in the Scripture? The Counselor. He said, I will send you a counselor. I will send you a helper. I will send you a comforter.
Yeah.
The English word comfort is derived, like I said, all our English words are either taken from the Greek or the Latin. All the words we speak in English are derived from Latin or Greek. The English word comfort comes from the Latin. Two words. Cum, C-U-M, forte, power. Cum, we're familiar with because if you graduated from high school with honors or college with honors, Like you graduated cum laude, which means with laurels, or with honors. Or you graduated magna cum laude, with great honor. God has given us himself, his Spirit, cum forte, the comfort, with power. The Holy Spirit has come in us. And not only with power, magna cum forte, with great power. Summa cum forte, with the highest, greatest power. This is what comes in us. We get his life. So we can do what he says for us to do. Consistently live with self-sacrificial love for the welfare of others. I ask myself, and we ask as a church, how are we doing? How are we doing? How are we doing with this? Let's go, I'm going to go to, turn to 2 Corinthians. 2 Corinthians chapter 11. I was going to read something about the Apostle Paul. Okay? The Apostle Paul, 2 Corinthians chapter 11. I'm going to begin about in the middle of verse 23. Here's what the Word of God says. This is Apostle Paul speaking. He says, I have worked much harder, been in prison more frequently, been flogged more severely, and been exposed to death again and again. 5 times I received from the Jews 40 lashes minus 1. 3 times I was beaten with rods. Once I was stoned. 3 times I was shipwrecked. I spent a night and a day in the open sea. I have been constantly on the move. I have been in danger from rivers, in danger from bandits, in danger from my own countrymen, in danger from Gentiles, in danger in the city, in danger in the country, in danger at sea, and in danger from false brothers. I have labored and toiled and have often gone without sleep. I have known hunger and thirst and have often gone without food. I have been cold and naked. Besides everything else, I face daily the pressure of my concern for all the churches. Who is weak and I do not feel weak? Who is led into sin and I do not inwardly burn? That is the divine love in the Apostle Paul. That is self-sacrificial love. Now we ask the question, Paul, why are you doing this? Because the Apostle Paul, when he lived, he could have had a cushy life. I mean, he could have had it going on for him. He was a Pharisee. He was one of the top dogs in Israel. He was a leader, a ruler in Israel. He was brilliant. He had a brilliant mind. And when he walked down the street, because of his position, people would honor and respect him and speak to him kindly and treat him very well because of who he was. But he gave it all away. Why? Well, let's turn to 2 Corinthians chapter 5. 2 Corinthians chapter 5. It's a couple verses. Chapter 5, verse 14. This is Apostle Paul speaking. He says, for Christ's love compels us. Christ's love compels us because we are convinced that one died for all, Jesus, and therefore all died. And he died for all, that those who live should no longer live for themselves, but for him who died for them and was raised again. Paul, you had a cushy life. Now you're getting stoned and beaten and whipped and flogged and going in prison and naked and without food. Why? He said, because the love of God, Jesus, compels me to do so. I see his great love for me. We saw He says, it touches my heart. It transforms my soul. And I have to do it. Paul, you go into people, all these different areas, to tell them that there is life in Jesus Christ, that they can have life in Him, that they don't have to go to hell, they will be with Him forever. His life will come into you. But when you're doing that, most of them are beating the heck out of you. It's not like these are people He's going to share because love compels. He said, you must know about this love of this God, Jesus. It'll save your life. It'll save you from eternal torment and damnation. This is what Jesus did for you. And most of them are flogging them and beating them. But a good many accepted Jesus Christ. That's why He does it. That's why He did it. It meant more to Him than having a cushy life. Because guess what? That was 2,000 years ago. If He had had that cushy life and rejected Christ, He'd be paying for it now, wouldn't He? But now, from now ever, and from now into forever, He is in the perfect presence of the Lord Jesus Christ. But this is what we are called also, to have this self-sacrificial love. Let's go to last couple of verses. John, the Gospel of John, chapter 13. John chapter 13. This is Jesus speaking. Verse 34 and 35. He tells His disciples, He says, a new command I give you. Love, or self-sacrificially love one another. As I have self-sacrificially loved you, so you must self-sacrificially love one another. By this, when you do this, all men, all people will know that you are my disciples if you self-sacrificially love one another. He says, if we do this, if we self-sacrificially love one another, put the other's welfare above our own welfare, if we do that, Jesus said, everyone will know that you are a Christian. You are one of my disciples. And what does that mean? You'll know that you're a Christian. They'll know that they'll see Jesus in you. They'll see Jesus in you. And then they'll know that. And they'll be blown away. Look at it. Folks, we see what's going on in this nation. We see what's going on in this world. People hate each other. I mean, people hate each other. You know, a lot of times our families love, but even in families, a lot of families hate each other. This is reality. This is what's going on. So if we cross-culturally, if the church would self-sacrificially put the welfare of our brothers and sisters of heaven, that'll blow their minds out there. That's otherworldly. That's otherworldly. They don't get it. It's like, what is this? I want this. You want it? You want it, bro? It's Jesus. It's Jesus. But see, it's one that we can go and just tell, but this is what we're supposed to do. The purpose of God for each Christian is to consistently express the divine love, self-sacrificial love towards one another. It'll do amazing things. Last verse, go to 1 John. 1 John, chapter 4. 1 John chapter 4, verses 7 and 8 says, dear friends, let us love, self-sacrificially love one another. For self-sacrificial love comes from God. This is not a human love. Everyone who self-sacrificially loves has been born of God and knows God. Now that know doesn't mean intellectually. There's a lot of people who intellectually believe. This means I experience a relationship. It's talking about a relationship. If you have this self-sacrificial love, you have a relationship with God. That shows a relationship with God. It says, whoever does not self-sacrificially love does not know or does not have a relationship with God. Why? Because God is love, self-sacrificial love. So if we know Christ and He comes into us, that's who He is. He is self-sacrificial love. Now, if I have His life in me, then it's going to be presented. I'm going to have the same thing. And that's a key also for us to see, how is our relation? Do we have a relationship with God? We talked about this, we went into Sunday school, into this, about remaining in Christ, abiding in Christ. That means a relationship. And a relationship means that our characteristic is like Christ. Habitually. Now I understand, we don't do this 100%. But habitually, this is our character. Should be self-sacrificial love. Like Christ. And if we don't, it says, if that's habitually in our lives, then we know God. Because God is there, and He's in us. But if that's not a characteristic in us, habitually, then it's not the Bible. I'm not saying this. The Bible says, then you don't know God. This, I'm blown away by what God has done for me. You know, this message was a little bit, just a glimpse. That's why I played those clips. Some of those clips are pretty cool and stuff. But you know what? He did this.
Yes.
And like, that was the physical stuff. Again, the Gethsemane and everything about the spirit. I mean, and then the spiritual was even more different. Paul went through the physical stuff. A lot of people, other people were crucified. I don't think beaten like that and flogged and stuff. But on top of that, the infinitely worse thing was the spiritual, the becoming sin for us, and that separation from the Father, which is what hell is going to be like.
Yes.
And we just can't comprehend this. But I'm praying that we get a glimpse of this. And I want if the worship team come back up. We're going to, pastors are going to come up and offer prayer. But here's the thing. Let's not take this stuff as just, I went to church today. That in and of itself does not matter.
Yeah.
It's to fellowship, it's to know. And again, what I said, what I wanted with this message is that we would more so, especially if someone here does not know you. Did you get a glimpse of what the Son of God, how much He loves you?
Yeah.
What it cost Him so that you might live, that you might have life. And for those of us who do know Him, did it help us even more? It's like, oh my God, I just want to live for You. And He gives us the ability to do that. When He gives us His Spirit, His life. And so, as the worship team sings, you know, just if the Holy Spirit, and don't be afraid to come up and, you know, and I know most of you, though you should probably never make that assessment. I think most of you probably really do know Jesus. And some of you probably don't. Some might think you do and you don't. Deception is. But for that, and just anything, if God's tugging at your heart, just to love Him, and you want to know Him better and stuff, or just anything you want to say, just come up and pray.